Free at last, folks. So this is Acid Roots. And after not being able to play this game since mid-September, basically since summertime, and we're almost done with autumn, it finally feels good to kind of get back in motion and be able to do this. This is kind of the thing. I mean, last time Cloud and them, or Zone and them, were basically locked in prison, presuming they were left a certain doom. But now it's kind of under the impression that some killings happen, and you can see the blood on the floor in the background here. But it's obvious that it's Sephiroth, but we don't know who or what he killed. So we're going to find that out after some quick battles, and we're going to kind of get this in motion. But yeah, so it feels good to be back. I mean, really, unfortunately, Super Metroid is going to take longer. That got delayed even further just because when I tried, I mean, that was actually the first game I was going to play today, but when I turned on the game, my save files were deleted, except for my file from 2015. So that was the only one. I was like, well, that sucks. So I was only like 15% done with the game, but that still would have really pissed me off if I had been further. So I'd only done 7 episodes of Super Metroid, but I'm just not in the mood. I probably wouldn't have gotten back to where I was today, so I said screw it, we'll do Final Fantasy instead. And we basically get out of Midgar in this recording sequence that I did. Maybe not in this episode, but with the gameplay I did, we'll get there. So this is kind of the thing. So we're getting in motion. I'm going to have to get some guides as far as helping me out with what else to do, but I don't estimate it to be very tough. So we're finally starting to get these sequences in motion, and eventually this gargantuan game is going to be completed. We're probably at like the halfway point as far as Disc 1 is concerned. I'd say a little bit more, maybe by episode 40 or something, we'll be done with Disc 1, and that's good. You know, that's definitely the thing, because there's some things later on that I'm going to skip, like, I don't really feel like doing, there's like some fort missions that you have to do, and I don't really feel like doing those. I forget what it's called, where you have to defend it from like the eagles or whatever. I don't know, it's something like that, but I'm not going to do it. So I mean, there's one instance where you have to do those fights, but I'm just going to kind of, I'll figure it out. I'll probably just fight the boss character instead of doing like the mini game. But yeah, I mean, I've never actually completed a Final Fantasy game. I mean, I got to like the World of Ruin in Final Fantasy VI, and I got pretty far in Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, but I never really took those past like the Super Nintendo or the PS1. So these, I mean, I got pretty far in like Final Fantasy Dawn of Souls for the Game Boy Advance, but then I sold that game and the file got deleted on top of that. So this is like, so I'm just gonna have to keep messing with some of these. I'm hoping that this is gonna be the actual Final Fantasy that I complete the whole way through. But you know, with all these delays between recording equipment, COVID, unavailability of like help, and just other crap like the Dazzle's not working, you know, 3 different Dazzles not working, I'm just kind of like, geez, this is an entire pain in the arse. So this has to end. But yeah, so Sephiroth killed President Shinra. So I was saying in a previous recording of this that there's like a 3-way war going on between Sephiroth, Shinra, and then Avalanche. None of them like either of the other 2 party members that they're facing. So that's kind of the thing. It's a 3-way war, and we don't know who's going to win. So it's kind of interesting. I like that it's a 3-way war rather than just a 2-way war. So obviously Sephiroth is the one to worry about the most, just because he could probably wipe out this whole group, all 5 of Avalanche, without much effort, but luckily that's not his goal right now. But he did kill President Shinra. So yeah, Vice President Rufus of Shinra. So he's kind of a dickhead. I would say ass clown, but I think I overused that word. So he's kind of a dickhead. I mean, I've only seen him in glimpses. I haven't seen him the whole way through this game, but I know enough to kind of say that he's going to be kind of a prick for a while. So, according to Eris, she says that no one's seen Rufus bleed or cry. Well, that's gonna change. I mean, unless they're talking about Sephiroth. I mean, that might make more sense. But either way, I mean, both of them are pretty valiant enemies. So, but yeah, so you're gonna want to equip your characters with magic because Barret, the group that Barret winds up with, the only character that can attack from a distance normally is Barret. So you're gonna want the other two characters to have magic because otherwise it's only gonna be Barret that can attack. So make sure you do that when you step up to fight this character, and you'll know when you're going because you're gonna fight him in an elevator. So. Cloud has his own battles. He's like his typical lone wolf material. You'll see that something's getting ready to happen. But you know, also if you notice, we've been at Shinra headquarters for a good while, so it's time for a change of scenery. This is the last little bit in this area, and of course we'll get out of Midgar, and then we've got some more scenes to do, and then we won't be too much far behind where I'm at in my practice file, but I've got to start playing that. So it's that I've been able to take off a good 2 months, but I need to get back in motion now that things are catching up. So get to like episode 30, 35, and so on. We're really going to plow through this game this month. I'm not going to mess around. It's finally time to start doing this. So I'll probably do episode 27 tomorrow, and then so on. And then I'll play through more of the game, and you'll see what happens. So, well, we've got another party member to get. We've got some traveling to do. That's some of the next scenes that are going to happen in the next few episodes. I'm kind of spoiling it, but then not really. So it's kind of non-spoiler spoilers. So Cloud's gonna have a one-on-one fight. And where the hell does Sephiroth go? He just kills President Shinra and that's it. But then Tifa ditches the group also. This is what I'm talking about. You want to equip your magic right here. So I'm going to leave them because they need at least to be able to heal. That's definitely going to be dangerous with Cloud being in a one-on-one fight or a one-on-two fight. He's going to have to fight 2 enemies, so... Cat wants attention. I'm gonna have to ignore her for the next 7 minutes. Yeah, make sure this. So I didn't really do a good job of like getting magic for everyone else. I mean, that's one thing you could have done in this area, is you could have, the whole Shinra HQ schematic, you could have gotten a bunch of magic for everyone, but I wanted to get in motion just because I don't think I'll need it, and I'll probably wind up buying these magic traits later, but it definitely would have helped. It probably would have mauled these enemies a little bit quicker, and boss characters. So... Yep, there are still random encounters, so don't forget about that. These are more of like a trial more so than anything else. They'll just be brief kind of setbacks that will kind of annoy you, but they shouldn't be too exhausting. But we got like 3 boss fights that are happening within these next few episodes, so get ready. And then we'll be done with the area, and then we'll find out more about Sephiroth, and we'll know what's going on. So, like I said, we essentially have 2 major enemies that we have to deal with here. So yeah, you can't go through the door. I was trying to figure it out, but you have to take the elevator. Luckily, we only have to fight 1 of these, so I'm just not in the mood. I mean, really. It's like, yeah, too much fighting. It's not going to help me level up, so I'm just going to... I mean, it would, but not enough, so... I suppose we could have hit up the save point, but I don't know if we actually could have. I liked it when Shinra got into the elevator with them. I was just like, nope, you ain't going nowhere. It's funny. Here's the boss that I was talking about. So this is an elevator fight, so you can't use physical attacks minus Barret. So it's gonna take a while. We're not gonna beat this guy in this episode. So, but luckily, Aeris is a healer, and you do get, I mean, the limit attacks will help, but that's just kind of the extra thing there. This is a decent enemy. It's not so much tough as much as it is annoying, because you can't physically attack it, so it's just kind of... I'm trying to think of what else has been going on. I've been going to Arby's lately. That's something new. I haven't talked about that since this point in Final Fantasy, but I've been going to Arby's. It's really been kicking back. I was in a trend of waking up late for a while, and that was pretty fun. Just being a ghoul of the night and doing that sort of stuff. I'll probably get back to that pretty soon, but the thing about it is Arby's doesn't wake up, or doesn't open until like 10 or 11 in the morning. I think it's 10. But I have to be awake at that time to get the food, and it's keeping me awake. And then, of course, this weekend I'm going to purchase the Prince of Persia video game for the Super Nintendo. That's going to be the next of my projects. I figure if I can beat Blackthorn, I should be able to beat Prince of Persia. I've never played the game before. I used to own a couple of the ones for the PS2. But I'm going to definitely try through some of those and see how simple they are, because it should be some fun. I mean, I definitely would say that it's very similar to Blackthorn, and I like that game so much I want to see. There's a burp for you. It's kind of rude, but it's kind of funny at the same time. But yeah, I'm going to mess with Blackthorn, or Prince of Persia. It's a cheap game, it's only $20, so... that should coincide with this game throughout the winter, and I'm going to gradually build up my stuff that I'm going to do with Super Metroid, so I will get back into motion with that game, but I'll tell you, if I keep losing my save file, I'm just going to have to cancel it, because I'm not going to do this like 3 or 4 or 5 times, especially if I get to like 80% done with the game. It's just like, nope, don't like it that much. I mean, it's a fun game, it's a classic game, but I don't like doing that. I mean, the problem with it is if you unplug the Super Nintendo sometimes, at least for me, I'll lose, like, the save files in that game. So, it's not so much, like, taking out the cartridge, but unplugging the Super Nintendo with the game still in there kind of has caused me to get my files deleted. And that happened like 10 years ago too. I mean, these games are like 30 years old now, so the batteries are starting to die. And I don't know of anyone in town who can replace Super Nintendo batteries, which is difficult. They just assume that you'll just buy it digitally now, which I don't like doing. I'm old school. I'm retro. I like the old census of those type games, but at least I don't have to worry about that with the PS1. But anyways, subscribe for more fun. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful night. Get ready for part 27.